Hello, residents of Pima County. It's a pleasure to be able to speak to you today about law enforcement reform here at the Pima County Sheriff's Department. It is clear that law enforcement reform is coming. The national dialogue and national discussion would lead us to believe that major reform for law enforcement is coming. Will probably come politically from Washington, D.C. Now, we could wait for that to happen, or we could take action. And that's what we've chosen to do here at the Pima County Sheriff's Department, is to take action, to take a leadership role on police reform rather than wait for it to happen to us. Many law enforcement executives are worried about engaging in reform efforts because they think it's an admission that we've done something wrong. Nothing could be further from the truth. Let me be crystal clear. I am very, very proud of the men and women that work for the Pima County Sheriff's Department. I think that we do an excellent job of serving the people of this county. So our efforts at reform are not an admission of wrongdoing or admission of things that we've done poorly or badly, but rather a recognition that law enforcement reform is coming. There is community desire for significant reform, and we need to be responsive to that. So it's not an admission that we've done anything wrong or that in any way we should be critical of the brave men and women that put their lives on the line every day for the citizens of this county. We do a lot that's right at the Pima County Sheriff's Department, and we've been doing that since 1865. We've been serving this county for a very long time. What we need to do now is to redefine those efforts and refine those efforts. While we do a lot that's right, often that's not communicated to all of you very well. We're going to fix that in our reform efforts. We're going to look instead of at our policies from an internal, introspective level, but look at them externally and see how well those policies actually reflect the will of the community and the desires of the community, which we know are evolving. With current events, the nature of what the community is expecting from us has evolved and changed. So we're going to be taking a very comprehensive look at our policies that we've had in place and refine those to better meet the needs and expectations of our community. Reform should not be feared by law enforcement executives. There's nothing to fear in reform because, as I said, we're doing a lot of things that are right. We just don't do a very good job of communicating those things to you in a manner that is more consistent with community expectations. Now, some would say that there should be a wall around the Pima County Sheriff's Department, that we should not interact at a national, state, or even a local level. That's simply an ignorant approach. What has helped us immensely at the Pima County Sheriff's Department with respect to our reform efforts is communicating to political leaders of all parties, both at a state level and a national level. And my interaction with my peers at a state level and at a national level to help redefine what reform should look like for the Pima County Sheriff's Department. Our engagement at a state level and a national level has been important to redefine these efforts and to better engage the community as we look at these reform efforts as well. So we've not built a wall around the Pima County Sheriff's Department. We've expanded our reach. We've expanded our national exposure, and that is very helpful in times like these when we need that broader perspective to engage in meaningful reform. Our reform plan has three pillars. They are accountability, community engagement, and transparency. It's not an accident that acronym is ACT, because the time to act is now. So our pillars are accountability, community engagement, and transparency. The goal of the plan is to have full or almost full implementation of the elements of that plan by mid-August. That period of time is necessary because we'll have a lot of refining to do on our website, revision of policies, and other things that I'll outline here in a few minutes that are simply going to take a little time. It's not a delay tactic. It's simply the recognition that a major reform effort of this scope is going to take some time. Let me discuss some of the key provisions of this plan with all of you. One that we're very excited about is we will be approaching the Board of Supervisors and the County Administrator for additional appropriation to hire community engagement specialists. Community engagement specialists will be people that have at least an undergraduate degree in sociology, social work, or psychology to better handle those calls which do not require a sworn officer, do not require somebody who carries a badge and a gun. These would be mental health calls, substance abuse calls, incorrigible children, a wide variety of calls that really do not require a deputy's presence. In fact, these people will be better equipped to respond to this type of call. There's an adage that if the only tool you have is a hammer, the whole world looks like a nail. We're going to have community engagement specialists that are going to have specific training and specific education to go out and handle these calls that are much better handled at a community level than a law enforcement level. We're going to create a community accountability page. And as I said, we're doing a lot that's right here at the Pima County Sheriff's Department, but we don't do a good job of telling you those things. If you ask for some things, often the response from law enforcement is, well, we'll entertain that if you submit a public records request. Well, that's certainly not very transparent or very engaging on the part of the law enforcement agency. So we're going to have a community accountability page that will be forward-facing on our main website. On the community accountability page will be major policies of the Pima County Sheriff's Department that you'll be able to review in their entirety. There will be budget information. You should know where your tax dollars are going and how they're being spent. There'll be discipline reviews, so you'll understand better the policies under which we administer discipline and disciplinary outcomes. There will be major incident reviews on this community accountability page. There'll be demographic information to show you the degree to which the department represents the community that we serve. We'll also put on there jail population information, so you understand the population of the jail and also the demographics of the people that are incarcerated here in Pima County. There'll be significant information about use of force incidents. Again, this will be very accessible right on the main page of our website so everyone can see that. And there'll also be information about calls for service. This is just a few of the things that will be on our community accountability page so that we're sure that we're engaging you, that we're more transparent than we ever have been. And that community accountability page is something you normally would have had to file a public records request to get, which is simply a bad way of doing business. There'll also be an email feature where you'll be able to email the sheriff, myself, directly with concerns that the community has. Hopefully some compliments once in a while. But you'll be able to directly engage me and know that that email is seen by the sheriff of the county. The other thing that we'll do is allow you to sign up to be part of an email blast system, where you'll be able to sign up to be one of those people that is engaged by the sheriff. So when we have a major incident, a major problem, a major event, as soon as practical, we'll email that whole list of people. So you'll be able to sign up, so you'll be getting that information as near in real time as we can provide it. Obviously, there'll be investigative things and critical things that we need to do before we can send that blast out. But you'll be notified very promptly about what's going on in your community. We're also going to make a system where we're going to be much more prompt at notifying the Board of Supervisors of major incidents, both in our jail and the field. We feel that this is very important to notify other political leaders of the goings-on here at the Pima County Sheriff's Department when they're of major nature. So all serious incidents will be notified as promptly as possible by the sheriff or his designee to the Board of Supervisors so that we're sure that they're aware as other elected officials. We're going to do a major review and refresh of our significant and major policies. Among those policies are our use of force policy. We're going to look at that to make sure that it's better meeting the needs of the community. We're going to create a policy of a duty to intervene. We know that in the George Floyd incident, this was a major contention. There was a duty to intervene, which nobody did. So we'll create a duty to intervene policy as well. We're going to better define our de-escalation policy and de-escalation practices as a matter of policy. We're not going to engage in no-knock warrants. We very, very infrequently do those anyway, but no-knock warrants have a lot of danger associated with them that is not really operationally necessary. We're going to look at our chokehold policy. Currently, our policy is very, very clear. Chokeholds, carotid restraints, are prohibited unless the use of that is necessary and would be justified as under the use of deadly force. But we're going to revise and look at that policy as well. We're also going to look at our participation in the 1033 program. Now, the 1033 program allows law enforcement to obtain military-like equipment that is surplus by the federal government. We know that's disquieting to many people out there. So we're going to review that policy to determine whether that's something that we still need to engage in or not, and whether that equipment is something that is absolutely necessary for us. We're also, and I'm very excited about this, we're going to implement a citizen review panel. This citizen review panel will work in cooperation with the already existing Sheriff's Citizen Advisory Council. And this panel will be specifically tasked with participating in executive reviews of major disciplinary issues at the Pima County Sheriff's Department and also significant use of force issues. So we'll have citizen involvement and citizen input to the sheriff on those incidents, which is something the public has been asking for a very long time. Now, some sheriffs and some law enforcement executives are afraid that engagement at this level would somehow negate their status as agency head. or as an elected official in the case of the sheriff. Nothing could be further from the truth. This type of citizen engagement, this citizen input should be welcomed by law enforcement, and we will impanel a 6 to 8 person panel to review these very serious disciplinary matters and very serious uses of force. We think that is being responsive to the community and something that's probably long overdue. Upon conclusion of this Facebook event, we will be publicizing on our website the entirety of our reform plan, which I've only gone over in very brief terms with you right now. This is a very comprehensive plan. It's nearly 11 typewritten pages, so it is very comprehensive and only hit some of the high points with you this afternoon. But we'll be posting that on our website in its entirety, so it will be as transparent as possible, and that will be posted upon conclusion of this Facebook. I welcome additional input into this. We've engaged the community as part of the forming process of our look at law enforcement reform here in Pima County, but I'm excited to say that the Pima County Sheriff's Department is once again leading the way to be responsive to the citizens of our community and to answer the calls for police reform. Again, this is not a admission that anything was being done wrong. I have the greatest faith in the people of the Pima County Sheriff's Department, but even the best of police departments, the best of law enforcement agencies, can always do better, can always be more responsive, can always be more accountable, can always be more engaged, and can always be more transparent. The time to act is now, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the support, and I look forward to engaging this plan and have it fully operational as close as possible by mid-August. Thank you.